Welkom bij deze volgende aflevering van Evolutie of Schepping. Vandaag zullen we het hebben over dinosauriërs. Jullie kennen allemaal wel bijvoorbeeld deze Triceratops, een zeer bekende dinosaurus. Bekend van onder meer Jurassic Park. Maar wist je dat ook zacht weefsel, dat er origineel celmateriaal, dat er bloedcellen worden teruggevonden in het fossiel materiaal, in de fossiele botten van deze dinosaurus? Kijk maar even mee.
Now in this solution of very weak salt water is the piece of Triceratops horn that I soaked overnight. And remember, this was dry, bone dry, just like the piece you just saw. And then I pulled these apart with my hand, and you can see that, well, you know, I've torn it off now, but there's a whole sheet of this soft stuff in between these two pieces. I'll try to grab some of this with my tweezers. But when I first pulled these apart, it was one continuous sheet. You can see there's a soft piece of fibrous bone. Here's another piece.
Now I'm going to quickly show you some of these thin sections under the microscope. You can see the tiny little osteocytes in them. Sorry this goes so quickly, but I'm using antiquated equipment to film this. But look at these pieces of tissue full of osteocytes. These are all the little bone cells that maintain, manufacture, and produce bone. And so this is direct evidence of osteocytes in dinosaur bone collected from the Elk Creek Formation in Montana. Now I also use a scanning electron microscope, and here you see under the scanning electron microscope some images of cells. These are individual osteocytes under the electron microscope. Look at the delicate filopodia or little tendrils coming off of them. These things should not be there if they're 65 million years old.
Ook bijvoorbeeld in de fossielen van een Tyrannosaurus rex worden zacht weefsel teruggevonden, beenvormende cellen, bloedvaten en zo verder. Kijk maar even mee.
We put some fragments of the bone in acid to dissolve away the outermost layer of mineral. But the acid worked too fast and all the mineral dissolved away. Being a fossil, there should have been nothing left. But there was, and it was elastic, like living tissue.
This is the piece.
No. She showed us video she took under the microscope.
That's really what happened?
Yes.
That's the dinosaur bone?
Without mineral now. That's what was left.
It looked like the soft tissue she would have expected to find if it had been modern bone. This was impossible. This bone was 68 million years old.
So you see this and you think, what? You
I didn't want to tell anybody.
You'd be ridiculed,
Yes.
right?
And so I said to my technician, okay, do it again. I don't believe it.
And yet, in sample after sample, they were there. Things that looked suspiciously like flexible, transparent blood vessels. She finally mustered the courage to tell Jack.
She said she dissolved the bone away and there were blood vessels, and you know, I was like shocked. I mean,
How could that be?
How could that be? That's right.
The things Mary was finding inside dinosaur bones,
Look at that.
blood vessels, and even what seemed to be intact cells, pose a radical challenge to the existing rules of science, that organic material can't possibly survive even a million years, let alone 68 million.
Het feit dat de wetenschappers in de fossielen van die dinosaurussen origineel celmateriaal kunnen terugvinden, wil dat zeggen dat die dingen allemaal zo oud niet zijn. Dat is geen miljoenen jaren oud. Dat is allemaal slechts een paar duizend jaar oud. Zacht weefsel, celmateriaal, bloedcellen, dat kan geen miljoenen jaren overleven. Dat is onmogelijk gewoonweg. Dat is dat die dinosaurussen dus allemaal zo oud niet zijn.